What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Takes on the Yard, the show where we talk about pretty much everything, but mostly sports. We have another sports-packed episode for you today, and we got a new face here. My man, Nicholas Thomas. How you doing today, man?
Hey, everything's good, man. God is good, and I'm blessed and highly favored.
And then we also got a familiar face, CB. You already know him.
Hey man, what's the word, man? Let's get into it.
So, MLB playoffs is underway with the wild card going on, and we're going to start off this episode first by talking about our wild card brackets. So, I'm going to go last. Charles, you go first. Then Nick, you go second.
All right, my bracket. I've got.
Well, first start off with the American League and then go to the National League.
Okay,
That's how we should do it.
All right, bet American League. So I'm gonna start off with the Blue Jays in Toronto. Blue Jays and Twin series. So from that, I'm not gonna lie, I got the Twins beating them. I think Royce Lewis and the other bats they have on that team. I think is gonna be too much for Toronto. Then other series is Rangers and Rays. I got the Rangers. I don't like the Rays. You know, that's a long time rival. So I'm happy to see them go. I need to see the Rangers just beat them bad, bro.
What else you got?
NL, we got Diamondbacks and Brewers. I got the D-backs, bro. Corbin Carroll, he's enough. I ain't gonna lie, Corbin Carroll's enough. I think the Brewers shouldn't even be here. It should be the Cubs, right? That's the spot they took.
I think it should be the Brewers.
I don't think they're better than the Cubs.
They're playing good baseball all season.
Okay. All right,
I'm saying go up to the ALCS, bro. That's how far I want you to go with your bracket.
Oh, okay. All right. So want me to start back over from the AL?
Sure.
All right. So as I said, I got the Twins going over the Blue Jays, and then I got them losing to Houston. Then I got them facing the Orioles, and we already know how that's gonna go. Nick, if you want to put some money on that one, bro, let me know. I'll bet whatever on the Orioles, bro. I'll bet whatever you want to put down on the Orioles, bro.
Okay, look, man, the past several years we've been in the mix, so
yeah. But y'all got to think about y'all. I feel like the Astros and the Dodgers are in like the same category to me of teams that are always good during the regular season, but they are very hit or miss in the postseason.
Nah, Astros ain't no hit or miss in the postseason.
I feel like you're gonna get one or two versions of both of those teams, bro. Mark my words. I've been right a lot in these episodes we've been having, bro. So watch this. All right, and on the other side, like I said, I got the D-backs getting past the Brewers. I got them losing to the Dodgers, and then I got the Phillies getting past Miami, but I don't think they'll be able to beat the Braves. So I'll have the Braves and Dodgers facing up on the NLCS, and then the Orioles and Astros facing up on the ALCS.
All right. I like that. Nick, what you got?
Man, nice bracket there.
Appreciate you.
So for me, cause I know you sent me the little the bracket thing. I'm a baseball fan, but I really don't follow baseball that much. But I'm gonna just go with, as far as like the Blue Jays and the Twins, I'm gonna go with the Twins. They've shown me more consistency.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna go with. And then for the Rangers and the Rays, I'm gonna go with the Rangers, because they was really giving us a run for our money in the regular season. And then ALCS, I got the Astros, of course. That's my team. And I got the Orioles beating the Rays. That's the ALCS. The Astros, we will win against the Orioles. It's going to happen,
Yeah.
We'll see. In the past,
if y'all make it.
3 World Series and like 4 ALCSs. So, they're pretty consistent the past several years. So, not to mention, we traded for Justin Verlander to get him back, one of our aces. So, one of the best pitchers ever to play in the MLB. So, I think that kind of solidifies our pitching for the postseason as well. So,
Astros got him back?
Yeah. You got him back at the trade deadline.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh. We gonna get into that later when we talk about.
Did he play a game for Rangers?
No, he was he went to the Mets.
The Mets. Did he play a game for the Mets?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played for them, but like the Astros, like, look, we want you back. They traded for him, and
Because the Mets season was over by the
Hey
trade
man,
deadline.
Justin Verlander, that's a Richmond guy, bro. Shout out Verlander.
All right, what you got for the NL, Nick?
NL. I forgot about that. I mean, it really don't matter. We're gonna win anyway. So the NLCS, let me see. So you got the D-backs and the Brewers. I got the Diamondbacks. I'm not too familiar because I think they don't have Goldschmidt anymore, right?
Mm-mm.
I don't think so.
He's
I
on the
think he's on the
Cards.
Cardinals. Bro.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
on the Cardinals now.
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna just say D-backs just because. And then Marlins and Phillies. Phillies have been more consistent, so I'm gonna go with them. And then Brewers and the Dodgers. Going with the Dodgers. Dodgers have been, really the best team in the National League with the Braves, which is why I'm picking the Braves to go to the NLCS. And then between Dodgers and Braves, the Braves scare me a little more than the Dodgers do. But either way, like I said, the Astros are going to be on top. So that's that.
I like it. I like it. All right, so for my bracket, first I got the Blue Jays over the Twins. Yeah, even though the Twins have been, a pretty solid team this season, the Blue Jays always gonna find a way to make their presence known. I'm sorry, Charles, but I gotta go Blue Jays.
Interesting, bro.
Um,
Interesting.
I got Rangers over Rays. The Rangers have been
Okay.
hot all season. They dropped off these last couple months in the second half, but the Rays aren't even the same team as they used to be. And honestly, you know, the Rays really haven't been a great playoff team. 2020 was just that season for them. It was a shortened season as well. You had a guy like what somebody his last name was Brussels sprout. I'm lying. Mike Brosseau, he had that walk-off home run against Aroldis Chapman to continue their little playoff spot and everything like that. But the Rays are not a good playoff team to me. So I got the Rangers. And Nick, don't be mad at me for this. I got the Astros. Well, no, actually, no. So I changed it. Actually. So I got the Astros over the Blue Jays. So
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
that's definitely for sure. So Charles, this is for you. Actually, I'm gonna say Charles, don't be mad at me for this. I got the Rangers over the Orioles. If
I
Felix
mean,
Bautista does not come back, man,
if who
I'm
doesn't come back,
Felix.
I don't think we need him, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say that we just don't need him, but it's like, bro, if you look at our lineup, bro, and the level of baseball we've been playing, we've been getting better.
Yeah, but it's I don't know, bro. I just feel like the Rangers are going to get hot in the playoffs. Like honestly, I just don't think that. So here's the thing about the Orioles: you have a young team, you have a young, talented team, but none of these guys have seen postseason baseball.
That's true.
Experience matters.
Right, and it's
Yeah,
a whole different ball game when you under playoff lights, a whole different ball game. And
that
so
is true.
I definitely think that the Rangers will take advantage of that.
But look,
So
bro, as long as Fuji doesn't throw, we're good. As long
look,
as
man,
Fuji,
he
keep
hasn't been
Fuji
that
off
bad
the
for y'all.
field.
He really hasn't been that bad for y'all.
Keep
Really,
Fuji
when you think
off
about
the
it,
field.
you look at it, he hasn't been that bad.
No.
So for my National League bracket, I got the Brewers over the Diamondbacks. Like I said, the Brewers do belong in the postseason. Like these dudes have been playing sound baseball, great baseball. The Diamondbacks were great too in the first half. And they were leading the NL West at a point, but obviously they fell off, and the Dodgers ended up taking that. So it's kind of tough. But I definitely think the Brewers might take that. Phillies over the Marlins, of course. Marlins, they're a fun baseball team to watch. You're always gonna have Jazz Chisholm. We just saw Jazz Chisholm hose
Jazz.
Nick Castellanos
Move Jazz, man.
late last night. That was amazing. But and then you got Luis Arias, who's a hitting machine. But I'm always gonna take the Phillies, a team like the Phillies, because they have more. You got Zach Wheeler. Nobody's stopping that.
Yeah,
You know,
Phillies are loaded, bro. Phillies
then
are loaded.
then you're gonna have Bryce Harper come to the plate. Then you got, this is
They got
you can't
Schwarber
stop.
batting like leadoff, bro, or second.
And Kyle Schwarber is batting under 200, but still hitting bombs like nothing.
Or
Like
he's muscling balls out that stadium. I don't
exactly.
know
So
what Kyle Schwarber did, bro, but you guys got it going right now.
well, that also goes to my next thing though. the Phillies aren't strong enough to take down the Braves. They're going to make it to the next round, but they're not strong enough to take down the Braves at all. Really, the only team I think that is strong enough to take down the Braves is the Dodgers, and so obviously I got the Dodgers over the Brewers. The Dodgers beat the Brewers this season sometimes, and you know, so it's going to be Dodgers and Braves in the NLCS. And I think that this will be the year where the Dodgers beat the Braves. Honestly, I don't. I like you said. You see the Astros and the Dodgers as those teams who perform well in the regular season, but when it gets to the playoffs, you know, they kind of like lose themselves and they can't perform. But I feel like that's going to be the Braves this year. You know, the Braves have had it easy all season. And you know, you had Acuna doing his thing, and as much as I wanted Acuna to win the championship with the Braves, since he wasn't a part of that championship, their previous championship, you know, it would be nice to see. But I think the Dodgers might actually be able to pull through. Now, the only issue with the Dodgers will be their pitching,
I was
and
ready
but
to say,
yeah,
bro, we matching
we
them bullpens.
yeah we're gonna see how that pitching goes. But you know, the Braves obviously have the better hand when it comes to pitching and things of that nature. So it's gonna be interesting. It's definitely gonna be a fun NLCS if the Dodgers and the Braves even make it. Like we could be shocked again where a team like the Brewers beat the Dodgers. Because last season the Padres beat the Dodgers and that shouldn't have even happened. But
Exactly.
a lot of people blame the manager Dave Roberts for that. I don't know. I just think the Dodgers just weren't playing baseball at that point.
Yep. And you know what? You know what makes me say that about the Dodgers and Astros, bro?
Hmm.
That Nationals ring.
Yeah,
Nationals went through both of them in the same year, and both of those teams should have beat the Nationals.
right.
Dodgers had no reason to lose to a
Nationals,
team.
look, they just got hot at the right time, bro.
And that's why I feel like that's gonna happen with Baltimore. I feel like Baltimore is like another one of those teams that the world didn't expect to see them there, and now they have
Well,
everything
okay.
they need
Well,
to
here's
pull
a
it off.
difference between that championship and this. The Nationals were a wild card team. If anything, they really weren't supposed to make it. If Christian Yelich was playing right field in that wild card game, that
Yeah,
the Nationals wouldn't have gone on to win that, you know, because they had somebody else in right field and
right.
he
He
botched it. Like that ball went under his glove. And now that was the start to everything, you
yep.
know. But with the Orioles, you know, we expected the Orioles to be here. And honestly, like I could change my thing right now because I and somewhere deep down inside of me, I think that the Orioles are still going to go to the ALCS. I had them going to the ALCS in the second half. Like at the second half, I said they're going to go to the ALCS. I don't know about the World Series, but they're definitely going to make it to the ALCS. And it's changed a little bit now, but it can definitely change again. So we know the Orioles are supposed to be here. We haven't thought anything less of them. Like yeah, like we talked about the Orioles rookies last week. What's Heston? How you pronounce his
I
last
think
name?
first that, bro.
Yes, and Adley Rushman,
Oh,
and then Gunnar
dog,
Henderson. Like,
dog.
oh man, it's y'all are supposed to be here. It's ridiculous. And then and so since we're on the topic, we might as well go into the next segment. You know, we're looking at the next star for the Orioles, and it's coming up next season. Hopefully, is Jackson Holiday. You know, what you got to say about that, Charles? I know that's your boy.
Hey man, Jackson Holiday. I'm gonna be honest. When I saw him get drafted, I thought it was a 16-year-old girl. Did not know who he was, anything about him. I was like, who is this kid that we just drafted? I thought we was about to get some MLB ready, more traditional prospect. Jackson Holiday didn't come out of high school looking like an MLB prospect at all. You know what I'm saying? If y'all, so you can eat now. He doesn't look like an MLB prospect. He still looks like a little girl, like a 16-year-old girl, bro. Like he's like not a big person, not a strong person. He's not really an overwhelmingly fast person, but he's like the perfect 5 tool guy in my opinion. Like just right now in minor leagues, mind you, what he's like 19 through the
Something.
minors. He's batting 323 with a 442 on base percentage, 113 runs, 75 RBIs, and 24 stolen bags, and that's through all levels of minor league baseball. I mean, I haven't really heard too many guys come through the minor leagues on this type of tear in a minute to be complete at that young either.
So
So
my question is, what do you think is going to take, you know, in this postseason and maybe early next season to where the Orioles feel the need to call him up?
well, I think they may call him up this year just to add to the morale of the team, add to to add another name because I'm pretty sure he's better than whoever we got on the bench right now.
Well, okay. So I was looking at it. Y'all have Gunnar Henderson and Jorge Mateo as short, you know, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Holiday will be able to play any position
Yeah,
that y'all need him to in the infield. So And if anything, y'all can move Gunner to third or something like that. Put Holiday at short. So, well, my whole thing was that I feel like depending on how the offense performs this postseason, I'm not even thinking about defensively. Depending on how the offense performs this postseason, if the offense performs well and y'all don't even make it to the World Series, but y'all did really well, the Orioles could get greedy and just go ahead and add him to that lineup.
Yeah.
But then I'll backtrack and say if y'all don't perform well, he'll be preparing for spring training and getting ready to be called up in the MLB. So one way or another, Jackson Holiday, in my opinion, is getting called up next season.
Yeah, I think that's facts, bro. Like you said, I think it's just a matter of time. I honestly hope I don't see him in the postseason because I feel like if we have to use him in the postseason, it's going to be pretty bad.
Well, it's too late now. You can't call
Really?
him. You gonna they gotta wait because they already submitted their rosters and everything like that.
All right, that's good because honestly, I feel like with the amount of young talent the Orioles farm system has, we shouldn't be trying to call up the guy we just drafted
Yeah,
because, like you said, we've got Hurstead, we've got Jordan Westberg, we've got Gunner, we've got Adley. Like we've got so many guys that have already came through the farm system and have proven themselves. There's no point that a team that's carried that tradition to 100 wins should be going back to calling guys up. We should really stick with the guys we got. I like Heston Kjerstad. I like Westberg. There was another guy we had that we called up a couple weeks ago when we played the Dodgers when I went to that game. I forgot his name. His last name starts with a C. But he's pretty good too. But he didn't really do that well when we called him up. I'd like to see him before I see Holiday, just because the guy I know he can hit. I've seen some of his tape. I just forgot his name. But yeah, I think Jackson Holiday will be here next year. Where I don't know because the team's kind of loaded, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You got Austin Hayes in left, you got Santander in right, Cedric in center.
hmm
Somebody might have to get traded, but then we got Frazier at second too. Like, I mean, he's got to work himself in. Somebody's got to go, but
yeah.
I mean, we're good, bro.
Nick, were you saying something?
Yeah, I was asking. You said he got drafted out of high school
Yeah, he
Yeah,
got traded this year.
you got dropped what was last
Yeah,
summer?
last year. My bad. My bad.
Yeah.
last year. So, being like a big Orioles fan and being from the area, what do you think was the main reason for the Orioles' success?
Just for this year.
Not only for this year, like for this year, and then like, what do you think is going to take for them to actually win the World Series and win a championship?
The success for this year has honestly just been kind of like, you guys hear guys on the 76ers say, stick to the process. I guess what we've done. We've taken guys that we drafted at high overalls when we were not very good. Because as y'all know, after Chris Davis and that whole team with Adam Jones, Nick Markakis, JJ Hardy, after that team was gone, we were terrible. Like I hated being an Orioles fan for a good 10 years.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
Now you got your fitted on it there.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But now, I got the 50 on. We got a lot. Our farm system, we gotta have a top 3 system in baseball. Honestly, bro, just the way we develop guys and the way that honestly, bro, these guys that we're calling up, I don't know if y'all noticed, but they look league ready from day one.
Yeah, they're dominating in the minor leagues.
Yeah, like there's so many guys we called up this year that we ended up sending back that their first hits were home runs. I guess like or home runs or doubles or triples. It's just so many guys that we just had sitting in the farm league, sitting in the minors, just waiting for a time like this, and now it's just paying off. And for us to get to the World Series, I think we just have to have that same level of play continue. We got to see Cedric in center field doing big things, robbing home runs, hitting doubles, scrappy on the bases. We got to see Austin Hayes throwing guys out. We got to see Santander hitting bombs in the clutch. Got to see Gunner doing his thing. Frazier got to hold it down at second. Mountcastle's going to hit home runs from first. He's going to play good defense. He's solid. And then, hey, man, Adley is the reason we here. I ain't going to lie. Adley has no pass balls this whole year. I don't know. I've never heard of that stat in my life. I've never heard anybody ever say that in sports. In baseball, as long as I've been a fan, that a catcher had no pass balls in the major league.
So, and I'm glad you brought up a lot of the positions because that also plays another role into Jackson being called up. It's no point of adding another man to a roster if you're not going to be able to use them. You know,
Yep.
and I mean, if it was a way you could just bring him up and it won't hurt a roster spot and he'll just be able to develop like as an MLB player, but develop under young stars that are already in the MLB. I feel like that'll be good for his mental. And I feel like the Orioles can't afford that. It doesn't hurt to bring somebody down and call him up, even if he's just a bench bat, for
Yeah,
his
I was
first
about
season or two.
I was just about to build on that, bro. I was just gonna say, I think if Mateo doesn't get it together, bro, like he could end up
Yeah,
not
I
getting
think Jordan's
traded.
gonna get rid of him.
You think we're gonna get rid of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was already saying, bro. Mateo, as out of all the games I've watched this year, I watched a lot of Orioles baseball this year, last year. Like I watched a lot. Mateo is even though he's shown spurts of potential, like Mateo could really be really good in this league. He's fast. He's fast as I don't know what. He runs like a deer. Like I saw him get to third on a pass ball from first.
Yeah.
He can do it, but his bat is just like horrible.
Yeah.
You
He
can't
has
hit.
to clean up his bat. That's it.
But if he cleans up his bat, he could be good in this league. But the Orioles, I feel like the direction we're going, we need guys that got everything together.
Mhm.
Like from this season for the next 5-6 years, we're going for World Series. We don't have time for guys to if he cleans up his bat. No, we need guys that are ready to win right now, and we have enough of them to do that. So yeah,
And under y'all manager too is definitely possible. But to continue the conversation, since I just brought up a manager, we're gonna talk about two managers that are now looking for new teams. And first manager being Buck Showalter. He was just fired by the Mets as their manager after they've had
Wow.
terrible season.
yeah,
Yeah,
man. Buck was
the Met season was a disaster when it even before it even started. Because I'll go all the way back to the all season. He almost got Carlos Correa. Didn't get Carlos Correa because of his physical, but then things started looking better when they acquired so many players. Two of those players being Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer. Now you have two aces, Hall of Fame aces at that. You might as well be able to do something with that, correct? But
yeah. You think? But is that on the manager though? Like, do y'all really think it's Buck's fault? Because the Mets have been disappointing for a long time.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's Buck's fault, but I'll talk about our school for a minute. We all go to Clark Atlanta University, and our football coach was just fired a couple days ago.
Yeah,
But I don't think it's ever been on the football coach. I think it's just on the players.
we get a new coach every year.
Exactly. And so with the Mets just needed somebody. Like a lot of the time, coaches and managers are scapegoats, you know,
Yep.
and people know that it has nothing to do with the manager, but
Something's
they
got to
they need
something's got to change.
right because it's easier to get rid of a manager than it is to get rid of a player, in my opinion.
Yeah, because speaking of that, like, being a former football player, 90% of it is recruiting. Like, you need to recruit and go out and find players that'll not only play well, but you need to get players that can play together. Because just because you got two great players, that doesn't mean they're going to be the same when they play together.
Right, that goes a long way. Chemistry goes a long way.
Chemistry, and then making sure also the coach puts a game plan in place, makes people believe. Like, you have to be a leader of men, and a lot of coaches think like you have to be a leader of men. You have to be able to relate to your players. You have to be able to lead them in the battle, and a lot of coaches don't really have that mindset or don't really realize that. Like, that's what you have to do in order to be successful. So
I definitely agree with that. I think a lot of the managers with the older mentality are kind of getting pushed out.
Well, yes and no, because I'll look at a the manager for the Guardians. The Guardians had a great season last year, and he won Manager of the Year.
No, he's great. I forgot what's his name.
I forgot his name too.
It's like Francaro.
Yeah, he just retired this season too, and he was a great manager. And Buck Showalter has always been a great manager, and Buck Showalter is going to go down as one of the greatest managers in history to never win a World Series. And I don't think that's because of his managing style. I just think that's because of the situations that he's in.
Yeah, and a lot of his teams were never like stacked teams.
He had a pretty solid team with the Mets his first year.
Yeah, like Buck got
it makes me upset that the Mets did not do anything with that team. The Mets had the potential to win. Well, they had the potential to clinch the NL East. They lost it to the Braves in the last week. That is terrible. And then you go to the wild card and lose to the Padres, who are also a wild card team. And the Padres weren't no like we just made it to the wild card team. Like, no, they were right behind the Dodgers. If the Dodgers just weren't so ridiculously stacked, the Padres would have won that division, you know? And so I mean, it would have clinched the division, you know, but it's the fact that the Mets couldn't pull out and win, I mean, clinch the NL East last season. And that's what kind of makes me upset about the situation Buck was in. So then you get it. So then Stephen Cohen goes out and spends billions of dollars to get more players for you this season. Those players don't perform. And then you also have locker room issues with Pete Alonso and the rest of the team. So this Mets team just literally fell apart, in my opinion, after that wild card series last year.
Yeah.
Hey, expand on the Do you know anything about the Pete Alonso issues?
Not really. Apparently the Mets might be looking to trade Pete Alonso after the season, and Pete Alonso just kind of like said whatever. And there was a point during the season where Pete Alonso, he told people in the infield, he said, every pop fly I will never catch anymore. Like, you're gonna have to catch these pop flies in the infield like that. So it was actually true. Jeff McNeil and Pete Alonso were going for a pop fly. Pete Alonso moved out the way of the pop fly, and Jeff McNeil literally looked so shocked. Like, while he was looking at Pete Alonso as the ball was in the air, he was like, "Bro, are you serious?" And he had to go out his way and get that pop fly. Like, Pete Alonso was dead serious about it. Pete Alonso apparently doesn't like to talk to his teammates in the clubhouse. It's a lot of issues going on in there, and it's looking like Pete Alonso is going to be, gone. And I don't understand why they were moving him. I don't understand if it's because of a locker room issue or Pete Alonso got into it with somebody upstairs. But I don't see the reason why you get rid of Pete Alonso, who's a great bat, unless it's
he
a
had
locker room issue.
he had to call out somebody in the front
That's what I'm
office.
saying. And actually, I'll go back to a previous episode that we did during the summer where we were talking about the Warriors getting rid of Jordan Poole for Chris Paul. There's no reason to get rid of Jordan Poole for Chris Paul. Jordan Poole is a younger player. He's a better player. He's going to last longer unless there were locker room issues going on, which exactly what was going on between him and Draymond. Him and Draymond never made up. And so it was a lot of things going on between him. And Jordan Poole was getting into other players as well. So that's why they got rid of him. So obviously, I feel like it's the same situation with Pete Alonso. It's a locker room issue. It's a chemistry issue that you have to okay, in this way, he's a cancer that you have to remove.
I feel like Jordan wasn't a cancer. I feel like Jordan got the hype to where he was considered like a third splash bro, right?
Mm.
Like, people was calling him that for a long time before he kind of fell off. And I feel like what happened with Poole is, because when Poole first started doing that, he was shooting like Curry, Clay, all just shooting wild shots and making it. But I think once he kind of lost the streak and was now shooting stuff like that with Curry and Clay still on the floor and missing, it's like, all right, they don't have no room for that. But in his view, he was kind of like, I'm the third splash, bro. I should be able to do this. So I think he was more of like on top of the thing getting knocked out by Draymond, I think he just needed somewhere to grow and somewhere to be Jordan Poole. Kind of like Kuzma with the Lakers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kuzma was doing stuff that Kuzma's really good. But, rookies, young players, they're going to shoot some wild stuff. They're going to be a little more reckless with the ball. They're trying to learn who they are and how they play in the league and just exactly how good they can be.
Yeah.
But it's like the Lakers and the Warriors aren't teams to be experimenting on. They're teams that they're going to tell you what to do and you do it. And let the stars eat. You're a background player. I feel that's kind of what happened with Poole outside of getting knocked out. And like you said, like, we all know that Jordan and the Warriors never really got over that. Because then how you cool with your teammates after that? Like, you just see me knocked out, and Steph and Clay gonna sit there and still be cool with Draymond, and then they're gonna sit in here and be cool with Poole too.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, because once that happens, it's just the disrespect is like, okay, it's gonna be very hard to now gain trust there.
Yeah,
it's like the chemistry is lost.
Yeah.
Not only is the chemistry lost, but I think also, whenever you're an athlete, a professional athlete, you're not playing for the contract you currently have. You're playing for your next one. And I think once Jordan got his money, it's like, okay, like, he was playing well, but the consistency wasn't there. I think the Warriors in the back of their mind, they're like, okay, we still want to win championships. Let's bring in Chris Paul. But the only way the Chris Paul deal works is if Chris Paul stays healthy.
Yeah.
Speaking, from an experience, being, from Houston, being a Rockets fan, I'm a firm believer we would have went to the finals if this
Oh yeah,
man
y'all would have. Everybody knows that.
like
Y'all had Golden State backs up against the wall like I've never seen.
that's what I'm saying. Like we gave him a run for our money and we just could not seem to get it done. But going back to the Mets manager, it's like you had Tommy Pham, you had Nemo, you had Pete Alonso, and you had Lindor. Like you had a solid, team, but you
Good
weren't
enough team.
able to, you know, get
Yeah.
the where. So I
What
mean,
do y'all think what do y'all think the Mets are missing?
um,
Because paper wise, they should be to me, they should be like another caliber of the Rangers. Like just stars wise, they have enough. They have enough to beat anybody in the league on paper. But there's something going on with the Mets. It's like the Padres. There's something going on in these organizations that's keeping them from.
well, I do know. Well, I'm not sure about the Mets because I know some of their players. Because it's funny, like before I came back to Atlanta for school, I actually went to Astros game and they played the Mets. Like that's probably why I remember some of the players. But what's it called? Speaking for the Padres, I know that for Tatis Jr., right?
Yeah,
He's playing shortstop, but now they switch his position because they got I forgot what other player they ended up getting.
Well, they put they had Xander Bogarts. Oh my goodness. And they had well before Xander they had Hassan Kim over there. But
yeah, he was valid.
they moved him because he just was making too many errors of short. They had to put him in outfield.
Right, and it's so but based on like I think I was watching the game they had against the Dodgers one day, and
Hmm.
they were playing the Dodgers one game, and they were talking about how like he doesn't like playing in the outfield like that. He likes the infield better. So and there's like a rift there to a certain extent. I mean, Xander Bogarts, great shortstop, but it's like y'all gonna move me to
Think
later, like
he should do what he needs to do to win after that
Bro, you getting
steroid
paid all
stuff.
that money, you gonna do whatever.
Yeah, I was saying after that steroid stuff, he just needs to shut up and play,
Yeah.
bro. I ain't gonna lie, like, bro, you on thin ice, bro. I ain't gonna lie, because he looking like a fraud. Tatis came on the league one of the best, looked like he about to be one of the best players of all time, and then boom, steroids, and he hasn't been the same. So he just need to go do what the Padres tell him as long as he's getting this money, bro. Because after this contract up, he out. He's gone. I promise he's out the league.
Well, I'm happy you brought up the Padres. What you gonna say, Nick?
I said, out the league is kind of crazy, but
Bro, he's already on a decline, bro.
I don't think so. I think he won't get another big contract,
Mm.
but he might.
Do y'all think he'll earn this contract? I think he'll end up earning it.
Yeah.
But I just think he just like as far as like complaining about being, I hate people that complain about stuff like that, bro. I really have like bro, just do what you got to do. Because if you was winning World Series and go to the playoffs, like all right.
Right.
But is Tatis even the best player on the Padres anymore?
I would say it's Machado.
I'm going Machado, Soto.
Machado or Soto.
Yeah, so yeah, no one cares anymore. Like Tatis, bro, old news, bro. Sit back.
But I'm glad you brought up the Padres because we're gonna travel a couple hours away to Anaheim, where the next manager just got fired. Phil Nevins. So the managers had fired their manager last season in June, and Phil Nevins took over. Phil Nevins was the third base coach for the Yankees before that, and the Yankees got rid of him after the terrible 2021 season, where they lost to the Red Sox in the playoffs. And so Phil Nevins took over as the interim manager, and then the Angels gave him a 1-year contract. Now, I think on a 1-year contract, you're not expected to do much. And the Angels did better than expected. The Angels came into the first half of the season like they were doing great. It was that second half where they fell off. But then, they made some decisions at the trade deadline that didn't really make sense. And I don't think that's on Phil Nevins. I think that's on general management and ownership. And so that's my whole thing. I don't think Phil Nevins should have got fired. And I'm not just
Mhm.
saying that because like I like Phil Nevins because he used to be with the Yankees. But I think it's not fair to Nevins that he got fired after one season. I feel like he should have been his contract should have been extended. He wasn't a bad manager for the Angels, and he didn't get much to work with, you know. We all know a lot of the Angels' money is going to Trout and Otani. So you're going to work with what you have. And so I really feel like all the problems with the Angels are coming from a general manager and an ownership perspective. It's less of a manager and player problem because the players out there performing. You know, they didn't perform like how they needed to make it to the playoffs. Well, they were expected to make it to the playoffs by the second half of the season, but you know, once again, you got to work with what you have. You know, and I mean, what do you all have to say about it?
Nick, you can go first if you got anything.
Nah, I mean, I would just say the Angels. I mean, there's a lot of circulation about them trading Otani. Obviously, like Trout is their staple there. He's going to be a Angel for life, sign that huge contract. With Otani speculation, because I heard, didn't they? Wasn't his like locker cleared out or something
Yeah,
like that?
Yeah, he cleared
so
out his locker
he
after
tore
the
his
game.
UCL and cleared out his locker soon after and went on ahead and got the surgery.
Yeah, so it's just stuff like that. Like whenever, and that's why, whenever they say like it's a business, like MLB, NFL, NBA, like it was a business. Like they'll talk to a GM, be like, hey, like just because I heard like Christian McCaffrey, for example, was on a podcast where he was talking about how he was traded to the Niners, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was in talk with his agent. The agent come to him, and the GM was like, "Hey, like, been hearing rumors about me getting traded, blah blah blah." They're like, "No, no, you're good. No, you're good, blah blah." And then later down the line, they're like, "So am I getting traded?" They're like, "We might trade you, maybe." And then like they're not really upfront about it. And the next thing, the agent tells him, "Yeah, you've been traded to Niners." And he didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. It's like once you get traded, like it was straight on a flight to San Francisco. Like
Hmm.
you don't even get a chance to say goodbye to your teammates, all the staff you were with, and that's how much of a business it is. Like it's cutthroat. Like once you trade it, like you with them now, so we're gonna send you on your way. So I just feel like if you need the Angels need to find a manager that can ultimately lead them to a championship. Because I mean, you got Trout, but there's no point in having Mike Trout there, and you can't, see him play in the playoffs.
Plus, Trout has to stay healthy.
Yeah,
So
facts.
and then I'll go into the other thing too. With Otani, you know, there's no telling where Otani is going to end up by next season. I mean, they tried. They were talking about trading him before the trade deadline, but now he's an unrestricted free agent. He could come back to the Angels if he wants to, but we don't even know if the Angels will even give him the amount of money that he deserves. You know, and but another team will. And then
And
I'll go back to Phil Nevins working with what he got. The Angels didn't decide to trade Otani; they decided to keep him. And so I think that the Angels did the very best they could with the final year that Otani would be an Angel. I don't think it could have went any differently. If the Angels made it to the playoffs, guess what? They were not going to go anywhere. Made it to the wild card, guess what? They were going to lose on the wild card, no matter who they faced. Honestly,
yeah, I agree, bro. I think you got the nail on the head. I think honestly, what the Angels need to do, they need to do similar to what the Commanders did with their organization, bro. Get all the fans to rally for the owner to sell the team. They need to just have a clean sweep of everybody calling shots. Because I don't think it's the manager. Because like you said, I mean, Angels ain't do that bad this year. I thought it was gonna be way worse, to be honest. So the fact that they did that with Trout being consistently, hurt, and then Otani getting his injury at the end of the year, like the Angels were like a solid team, like fighting for a chance until the last couple weeks of baseball.
right?
So I can't say the manager messed up because I mean, if you really look at it, bro, outside of Otani and Trout, who is on the Rangers? I mean, the Angels. You got a ghost. You got Casper the Friendly Ghost and what's old boy name? Anthony Rendon. I don't even know, bro. He's pulling a Chris Davis. I swear to God, he's pulling a Chris. I've not heard anything from Anthony Rendon since he signed a contract.
Haven't heard anything. Like he was great for the Nationals,
I
and
don't even know if he's playing baseball. I don't know. I don't know where he's at. I don't know what he's doing.
He was hurt, but he came back.
I didn't even notice. They got a nice guy in Grichuk. I like him. I like he can hit. He can hit. Chrome. I mean, that was a trade that kind of made me throw my hands up. Like, all right, you got CJ Chrome for the playoffs. Good luck. That's what I think. It's just like the management has to go with the Angels. They're a team that's just being run improperly because, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure everybody else's opinion who watches baseball, there's no way you have Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani on the same team, no matter how hurt they are. There's no reason you don't make it to the playoffs without it being something in upstairs, bro. Because like even the Angels culture, it's not even a winning culture.
And
Like, everything needs to
also
change.
feel like there's no way you don't have players to complement them.
That too.
yeah.
But look, this gets to the next segment. We're gonna switch over to sports.
All right,
We get to basketball now. It's a new team, but the same grind for Damian Lillard, right? And so we talked about players to complement Mike Trout and Otani. And so that's something that we didn't see in Portland with Damian Lillard, where Trailblazers didn't get players to complement Damian Lillard. But that's changed now because Damian Lillard was traded to the Bucks. So he's alongside Giannis, Brook Lopez, and Chris Middleton. That's gonna be ridiculous, bro. Like, you want to talk about LeBron going to the Heat and changing the league and starting super teams, and KD going to the Warriors and changing the league, bro. Giannis and Dame, bro.
No, that's gonna be
Oh my
scary,
God.
bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be a fun year for basketball, bro.
Yeah.
I think Dame and Giannis are sick, bro. I ain't gonna lie, because Dame. I just wish Dame didn't wait so late.
I was gonna say the pick and roll is gonna go crazy though. Roll gonna go crazy, and seeing Damian Lillard, like he was trying to stay loyal. Portland, they drafted me, all this stuff. Signed a very nice contract. Getting paid handsomely. He'll be making. I think these next 3 years of his contract, I think it'll be like at like 55, 58, and like 61 million, like in those 3 years.
Mhm.
So getting paid, but at the end of the day, I mean, you're making the money, like, but you're missing that championship. And people want to see him not only in the playoffs, but people want to see him in the finals. And now he has the perfect opportunity to do that when you have, Giannis, one of the best two-way players. You have Chris Middleton, hoping he can stay healthy and stay consistent alongside with Brook Lopez. I think that should be a great combination. And then I think you got Bobby Portis coming off the bench, solid bench player. And then I don't know if they still got Grayson Allen or not, but he's a
No, they traded him.
They got rid of him.
Oh, they did. Oh, that was in the trade.
Yeah,
So
that
it was
that's
a
what I was gonna
3-team
build on.
trade. Dame was traded for DeAndre Ayton, Tumani Kamara, and Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday went on to be traded to the Celtics after that. The Trailblazers also got a 2029 first round pick and 2 first round pick swaps with the Bucks. The Suns got Grayson Allen, Keon Johnson, Nasir Little, and Yusuf Nurkic.
Suns kind of came up.
Yeah,
It kind of did. I mean, I'm
Johnson from Washington or Northwestern.
I think so.
No, he's nice, bro. The Suns got Keon Washington. He was on the I think it was Northwestern last year. He was like the best player on that Northwestern team that carried them to a NCAA playoffs. And he was on Florida after he transferred over there. But they got him. They got Grayson Allen. And what was the last guy?
Nurkic. Yusuf.
Yeah, that's solid. I mean, he's better than Aiden, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He can do the same thing. Aiden ain't do nothing but sit there and get dunked on by Giannis, bro. So, Jokic can do the same, or whatever his name. Nurkic can do the same thing for half the money.
Yeah.
Nurkic, like he also has a history of like injuries. So
did he break his leg or something?
I don't know if it was his leg, but all I know is like part of the reason why the Blazers weren't as good was because he wasn't healthy as well. Like he had constant injuries when he was on the Blazers. So I'm hoping that now that he's on the Suns, he can, get right, get healthy, be more consistent, and then, you might see the Suns because they have a ton of offense. It's just a matter of
The Suns could use. The Suns could really use that would probably put them over the edge. They need like a Rudy Gobert type of center, bro.
Gobert.
Yeah, Gobert. Yeah, bro. That's Rudy Gobert, bro.
No.
I think they just need a center that can get boards and pass out. They don't need him. They don't need a scoring center.
Okay, well, yeah, something like that, but not Rudy Gobert. No, not at all. But
Gobert.
Yeah,
unfortunately, we got to cut this episode short. But once again, thank you all for joining us today, and it's a great episode. We're going to see Nick's face a lot more. Thank you, Nick, for joining us today, man. It was great having you.
Problem, bro.
And yeah, this has been Takes on the Yard. Stay safe, stay blessed, and peace.